I will come back here at some point in 4,000 days, so if you want to get in the monument, all you gotta do is make 100 days.
100 days enigmatica to expert mode multiplayer. On day 1, we loaded into the world and realized our first problem, which was a little lag, but it was playable, you know? So we went on to go do the first quest, which was just a checkbox for leather armor. But then we ran into our second problem, horrible crafting recipes. 1 log turned into 2 planks, and 2 planks turned into 2 sticks. After gathering some wood, we crafted some tools and realized that all vanilla tools were absolute trash and only had 2 durability, meaning that in order to get a stone pickaxe, you would have to craft 2 wooden pickaxes, only for your stone pickaxe to get 2 stone before breaking, being just as trash as a wooden pickaxe. Basically, this is the mod's way of getting you to make Tinker's Constructs tools exclusively. I'm kind of starving to death over here. Should we grow hemp? Bro, we can grow hemp. I don't know if that gives us food though. Let's just grow normal seeds.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
You wanna grow some weed, bro?
Woohoo!
Yeah. After that, the sun rose on day 2 and I made the first tinker tool, a clumsy wooden pickaxe, and I used it to test out vein miner. Also, only after I made tinker tools did I realize that in the description of vanilla tools, it basically says in big red text, do not use this, it is trash. I want to take a moment to look at this furnace crafting recipe. Unlike the furnace crafting recipe, the bread crafting recipe is way better, with 2 wheat making 2 dough, and those 2 dough making baguettes that each give 3 hunger, which is better than normal bread. And to craft normal bread in this mod pack, you need like dough and like a grinder and stuff, and it's like a whole tree of crafting recipes for something that's not even good as baguettes, which is literally 1 wheat. The French are coming in clutch. Okay, it's time to actually do some quests. We broke gravel for some flint, which is mining level 0, and getting 2 flint is actually a quest where you get a choice reward between 1 netherrack pan, 1 cactus sword blade, and 1 steel knife blade. But I chose the netherrack pan for its utility purposes. The next quest is a clay bucket, and the reward for it is a loot box, which can give you stuff that's useful and helps you progress through the game, or it can give you pineapple ham. On day 3, we went exploring and I came across a small mine shaft that contained a thunderstaff. I was excited because of its destructive properties, which, if you don't know what the thunderstaff does. There was another chest with the exact same loot, but then we realized we ran into the exact same structure at the exact same time, which was very cool. Later I proved this theory by finding the one he discovered. Yo, banana! I will not tell you why, but this sheep had to die.
Typical Minecraft stuff.
What is that name tag? Compressed spider? Should I try to fight it?
Oh, it's probably 9 spiders stacked together. I would be careful.
Oh! After that, I decided to take a break and play with the thunderstaff to calm down.
Why is the tree on fire?
Arson! Yeah. What a unique flare. I ended the day off by collecting sand, gravel, and clay for grout, looking at the meteor near our base, noticing the minor surplus of gravel around the meteor, making grout which will be used to make a Tinker's Construct smeltery, and eventually participating in some PvP with the locals. I started vein mining grass for whatever reason into day 4, but then I realized I could use it to build a wall and prevent the mobs from trespassing. Luke would be proud. Then my game crashed. I don't really know what happened, but I guess my recording crashed too, because this is all I have, me retrieving my dead body. I was like trying to get clay or something, but yeah. Rest in peace, day 4. Okay, memories are resurfacing. So basically what happened is I just started lagging like crazy and then my game crashed. I was sitting there trying to mine a block for like 2 years. Didn't happen. Game crash. So I get back with all my stuff on the start of day 5 and it looks like Alec has built a wonderful Tinker's Construct smeltery. So the next quest was to obtain Certus quartz, and I looked at the 10,000 ways to obtain the crystal and decided we'll just go mining. What is this? I found like mud. Oh, this is the quick dirt you were talking about. Wait, how do I get out?
Yeah. It's really slow. You just kind of have to sit in it.
Oh, I poured water and I was able to get out easily. Oh wait, the water turned it into mud. Mud from Minecraft 1.19. Yo.
The fountain has a sea
there's
lantern
Christmas lights on it.
Yeah, I know.
Very festive.
Oh,
the crystal is pretty common, and we were able to
important
complete the
stuff.
quest quickly after finding a ravine. There's stalactites from Minecraft 1.18. That ore I found was actually charged Certix ore, which takes cobalt to mine, but we still found normal Certix later.
Ow, ow.
I just struck myself. I'm so low. Oh my gosh, I'm so low. Oh, he's right there. Oh, sorry. Cave roots? White sprout? Hope I don't die.
I don't know why I didn't just vein mine that.
Okay. Wait. I got some boat status effect. Whitening. Remember when I said we quickly completed that quest? Well, we finally did, and we both chose the hammer as our prize. The next quest was lead, and I found some very fast. It looked like it was only a 1 vein, but we double checked, and there was some more. So we could actually get the quest done, because you need like 2 pieces to do it. Then the water was weird. Wait, look at the water. Oh, there's a quest before the lead quest that I hadn't completed, which is the iron, so I did that and it gave me a lava bucket. And then for the lead quest, there was another choice, and I chose the seared bricks. I learned that the hammer is very cool, and the next quest was osmium.
Is there any lead or osmium in here? Oh!
Is there osmium right there? Turns out we kind of already found it, so that was nice.
I can't harvest it because it's lead required, but...
I started off day 6 by getting chased by some bees. How are the bees so fast, bro? Oh my gosh. Then I made a Certus pickaxe, which is hard to see, but it's there. By the way, here's the chest crafting recipes. Wait, there's a concentration of chests on Uranus, bro. I lost a PvP battle to a squid and began construction on a mine shaft. Alec motivated me to jump in the smelter to give some blood. Like the good friend I am, I jumped in and broke the smelter a little bit by placing a block, and then I donated a little too much blood. Since there was no blood in the smelter, Alec wanted me to jump in there for round 2, but I resisted this time. Then we found out that in this mod pack, to get blood, you have to smelt rotten flesh instead. To end off day 6, I practiced with the thunder staff and then created a charged creeper. After that, I decided to take a break and work on the mineshaft, where I learned that the bedrock layer is flat in this mod. I started to become comfortable using the Certus quartz pickaxe and mined for some materials. Finally, I left the mineshaft and it was day 7. Since the pickaxe I was using had such low durability, I made like a tinker's table workbench thingy so I could repair it while I'm in the mine. I upgraded my pickaxe with osmium and was now able to mine up to obsidian, I don't know, maybe a little more. This led me to go back to the bottom of the mine because I heard some lava and I was trying to go nether, but then I found diamonds. Diamonds.
What the heck?
We got to work mining some obsidian and admired some weird lava water physics thing going on. I don't know how it happened, but it's cool.
Run in the mill.
Yeah. By the end, I had just over a stack of obsidian and decided to just like mine some other materials for a little bit, because before I upgraded my pickaxe, I literally couldn't mine like anything. Maybe like coal or something, that's pretty much it. A zombie killed Alec because my wall didn't cover the water. Luke would not be proud. And then I exited the mine on the start of day 8. Since I had so much obsidian, I made some obsidian tools, and then Alec showed me his shield sign thingy. Wait, it's a shield? Before I knew it, I was drugged with a ton of positive side effects, and then I found a better crafting recipe for chests. Dude, Alec. I completed the osmium quest and selected the king slime shovel because it's literally the best option. The other ones are just objectively worse. After that, I quickly completed the obsidian quest, which had a splash potion of fire resistance and a flint and steel for going into the nether. So I got to work and made another portal, and then I slandered Pam's Harvest Craft. Why does every mod pack have the Pam Harvest Craft like mod? Nobody has ever played this mod actually. Like, nobody does the crap in this mod. Like how many people have made a blackberry jelly sandwich, dude? I got some cashews, I ate some cashews, then I looked inside of the meteor. Then I looked in the meteor again because I was so disappointed that it was useless. Then I tried some peaches, some jackfruit, and banana. Bruh, coconut. Practice using the lightning rod some more. Then I made a giant hole in the wall and decided to place water to put myself out, which went directly into the mine shaft, putting out every single torch. And to end off the day, I took my first steps into the nether. Then my game crashed, and when I came back, I was dead. How could this happen? I gathered up some cobalt for the next quest and some quartz. There was a major problem with the nether. It was extremely laggy. Like, this is some unedited footage playing in the background of what it was like. So I basically couldn't do much in there because I would just get killed by the mobs since the game paused every 2 seconds. But this lag in the nether caused some serious problems. I don't know what day it is anymore because I crashed, and the way I keep track of what day it is my recording time. And since my game is crashing, it stopped recording because right now, instead of using like a screen recorder, I'm using a game recorder, so it stops when the game stops. I later changed this, but a little damage is already done. We could possibly maybe be a day off right now. But don't worry, there's still hope. I'm loading up my old computer right now, and timing how long it takes to open Enigmatica 2 to see what day it is. I'm gonna add a minute to the time just because, you know, I gotta click all these buttons to open Minecraft and stuff, but it should maybe be accurate. I'm gonna do like 2 tests to see if there's like a lot of variation, then I might do more, but hopefully it works out. If I had to guess right now, I think it's the end of day 9 or the start of day 10. Okay, so I timed my computer once and it took 45 minutes to open Enigmatica 2 Expert mode. I don't think that's what happened. I think it was around 20 minutes, but if we look, so I'm just gonna say that every time my game crashes that it's around a day gone. I know this is kind of bad for the video and stuff, but like, it's just what happened. Alright, if you skip to the timestamp, basically crashing is making it hard for me to tell what day it is because it turns off my recording and I see what day it is by how long I've been recording. So right now this is either day 10 or day 11, but I'm gonna go and say it's day 10, although it's pretty possible that it is day 11. Keep that in mind. I retrieved my stuff from the nether. It went through our weird nether portal. I'm gonna try to keep the day counter as accurate as possible. My voiceover might not be as accurate because I don't feel like redoing voiceovers, but I'm pretty sure this is the end of day 10. I was just walking around and trying to make the server less laggy. On day 11, I messed around with the Teams mod. I decided to go back into the nether, but was met with a long loading screen, and then I looked at the server to see what's going on. Turns out I had 15,000 ping. I was running a test for some data so I could get help from this guy on Discord, but then I got back in the game and it crashed. No! Wait for program to respond. Come on. While I was waiting for my game to reopen, I tried to fix the lag on the server. Then I got back onto the game, which this might be alarming, but I'm pretty sure it's day 13. I expanded our storage and then completed the Manilium quest, and this was another one of those quests where one of the rewards was obviously better than the other, so I picked the Emerald Excavator head over the Verdentium one. The next quest was Osglow Glass, which I first practiced saying, then looked through the sea of crafting recipes that would consume me for the next hours. This quest was a huge jump in difficulty, and I was looking through crafting recipes so long that it became day 14, and then we logged off. And when we got back onto the server, it was already nighttime. FlyingSpaceDino, why is it nighttime? Well, you see, I start my server before I start Enigmatica 2, so while my server's been up and running, because it starts faster, I'm still opening Enigmatica 2, and then by the time I get in, it's nighttime. I tested out a King Slime shovel and learned that it had tons of durability, but I wouldn't be able to use it for long because I didn't have any King Slime to repair the shovel. It is now day 15. I finally got to work on getting the Osglow glass by making some copper wire. I mined and smelted some ores while Alec was making more spouts on the Tinker's smeltery and block pouring extractor thingies. So in order to make Osglow glass, there are 3 main components that you need to mix together in the smeltery. And I'm gonna start off with making refined glowstone. I quickly got distracted from the glowstone because I learned that you could plant sugarcane underwater.
What?
You can place it right here because there's water next to it below it.
Oh, that's kind of wild.
I got back to work by making some copper cables, and then I looked through the crafting recipes again. And it was really starting to show doing a blind playthrough here with no tutorials, because I was running into so many dead ends on how to make this, like a machine that needs rubber that makes rubber. And it was always stuff like a machine that makes this to make that machine, so that makes this, that makes one of the alloys, which I need 3 of. Anyways, yeah, I spent a lot of time looking through crafting recipes. I made some more furnaces, then went on the hunt for some rubber wood where I found this mutant sunflower, a cyclops which I beat up and ransacked their establishment. I got this weird achievement for killing the cyclops. I got gold and some ores that are better than golden apples.
Some ores are overpowered.
There were also sheep for beds, but that's less cool. Then I beat up this gemstone golem which dropped a fire charge into day 16. Eventually, after surprisingly not that long time.
Wait, is that rubber? Yo!
Actually, you got it already?
We only got one sapling. We only got one sapling, bro. Is there more? Wait, is this more
sure
rubber?
there's probably more.
That's rubber wood right there.
I used the wool I got from the cyclops sheep to make beds and put Alex next to mine. Then I used one bone meal on 2 trees and they both grew instantly. And for whatever reason, when you smelt rubber logs, it turned it into jungle logs. Turns out I need another complicated machine to turn the rubber wood into rubber. Then I just walk over to a furnace with rubber in it. What did I smelt? What did I do? I literally don't know what I did. I'm kind of too lazy to check into the recording, so it's still a mystery to me. Weird thing is I never addressed this and never like try to make rubber the same way. I don't know, maybe Alec made it somehow. Then I messed around with this weird evoker staff and decided to go to the nether to look for another fortress. Instead I found what I thought was a bee's nest was actually a wasp nest, broke in without permission, and stole their honey. This got me in a sticky situation, but then I used the honey to my tactical advantage.
Wait, there's a biome or a thing called the Deep Dark.
Deep Dark from 1.19?
And for some reason the honey didn't like solidify here and I caught on fire. The island I landed next to had some congealed slime, so I took that to make some slime boots and slime slings.
Honey blocks from 1.16?
No way.
Day 21.
What the hell? Oh my god, no way.
FlyingSpaceDino, how is it day 21? Well, you see, I severely underestimated the amount of time I lost to loading and crashing. FlyingSpaceDino, why are you so bad at making videos? I gathered some more obsidian for repairing my tools. Saw some blazes off in the distance and tried to snipe them with my thunder staff, but then they ran away and I went to go check on them and they were all despawned. So I continued my search for another fortress. I had an idea to solve our food problems, which was using the bone blocks from the fossils to grow food really fast. And since there were so many fossils, this would quickly lead to a sustainable farm. Then I found gold using honey and burned my toes a little bit. As I started bridging again, I felt a sickness come over me.
What the heck? Alright, well, I'm dead.
Past me claims he was holding shift, but I don't believe him. Then I got a nice tip. I went back into the nether with slime boots and a slime sling to try and retrieve my stuff and immediately did this. Started off day 22 by complaining about the server's performance.
Why does it do this?
It is now the night of day 24, and I do not feel the need to explain myself this time.
Right?
And now it's day 25, where I experienced lag and then crashed.
A Christmas spirit will help me through this. That's my thought process.
It's day 54.
FlyingSpaceDino.
So why did the day counter over double? Well, the answer is quite simple. Really what happened is Alec wanted to play a little bit more after I got off, so I kept the server on, but he only played for one more day, and then when we came back the day counter was 54. But in reality, it's actually day 25 still. For some reason Alec couldn't hear me and I couldn't hear Alec while I was studying how to make steel, so I went to go investigate.
Oh wow, turns out I wasn't even connected to Discord. I was talking to myself. Well, I talk to myself when I make videos anyway, so. Hello, Alec.
Oh, I can hear you.
Yep, my Discord crashed and I wasn't talking to you that whole time.
There were two furnaces I could make in order to make steel, and one of them was way harder to make and needed steel to make it, so obviously I'm gonna make the other one. I cleared up my inventory and admired some pig iron that Alec made. Tried to make a chest plate with it, but it didn't work. And when I middle clicked the pig iron, it sorted my inventory so the 9 pork chops turned into the pig iron, or like it moved. And I thought that the pig iron turned into 9 pork chops and that the pig iron was still there and that this was like infinite food.
I middle clicked the pig iron and it just turned into 9 pork chops.
Then I got under the influence of some mushrooms, and Alec dropped me some sturdy casings to complete a quest, and we decided not to claim any of the rewards for the quest until we needed one of them. We studied one of the rewards further, which was the aqueous accumulator. This thing could create like some of the most random stuff. At the start of day 26, Alec had finished the beginnings of his humble essence farm on the side of a mountain. After that, I decided to go into the nether to try to get some blaze rods, which were needed for the blast furnace, but I immediately started lagging and went back into the overworld. But I still kept lagging, so I left and joined the server, but it only seemed to make it worse. On the rest of day 26, day 27, and the beginning of day 28, I tried to figure out why my game was lagging and then restarted my game. I put on a stylish Enderman head, learned how to read concentrations of blocks graphs, mined a little bit. On day 29 I upgraded my pickaxe with redstone, which gave it efficiency, diamonds, which gave it durability, and lapis, which gave it fortune. Then, since I yearned so much for the mines, I went back, came back up, and smelted my ores. The rest of the day pretty much consisted of looking through crafting recipes. We thought a way to solve our food problem might be to make like a pig spawner or something, but that quickly proved to be difficult, although Alec had hopes. Then I got back to Uglo glass. I found the alloy furnace crafting recipe, which was a way to get lead that didn't require blaze rods. Blaze rods were a huge problem because of how laggy the nether was. On day 30, after 29 days, I finally decided to just make a normal farm. Then I collected seeds for my farm and kidnapped 2 chickens. I decided to plant some random seeds I had, including hemp, and then gathered and planted into the night. For whatever reason, we needed treated wood planks, which had a horrendous crafting recipe. We were also trying to make an aluminum rod, which sounds really simple since we had aluminum, but it was extremely complex, requiring an entire machine just to turn aluminum into a rod. Because truly it would not be a full day without looking through crafting recipes for at least a minute. Day 31 came around and I began it by getting the parrots in the bats achievement. Alec tested out his pan on me, then I made a pyrolytic conversion thing, which was supposed to make the oil we needed for treated wood somehow, but I couldn't figure out how it worked. Expanded our storage yet again. Since we really needed blaze powder for the blast furnace, Alec researched how to get blaze rods while I researched how to get blaze powder. I discovered this thing called a squeezer, which squeezed all the blaze powder out of blaze rods, or in other words, used fortune on a blaze rod. This would be very useful since for whatever reason blazes just spawn randomly and we can't find a fortress. My first time using the squeezer, I got 4 blaze powder from 1 blaze rod. On day 32, Alec was thinking we should get some normal armor, so I showed him the normal armor crafting recipe, which was tiers. You had to make a leather helmet, then surround that leather helmet in iron, then surround that iron helmet in gold, and then surround that gold helmet in diamonds. After that, I spawned a chicken. Then Alec mentioned the shield crafting recipe, which prompted this.
But then I forgot. Well, I remember I was gonna do it, but then I forgot how to spell shield.
Turns out the shield crafting recipe was normal, which is very surprising and cool. As I was collecting seeds, Alec was in the nether getting blaze rods when he said this.
We need a fire resistance potion or something.
Oh, I have a fire resistance potion. Probably should have given it to you.
You're the worst.
I was saving it because I thought I was gonna go in the nether.
Then I went and planted my seeds. While Alec was trying to get out of the nether alive, I was feeding chickens. I made a shield, then surrounded it with diamonds to make a diamond shield. Finally finished the blast furnace. Then I gathered some wood from the birch forest nearby, and turned a pair of golden pants into diamond ones. Then something incredible happened.
Is that fully ground wheat right there? No way! Our first piece of wheat that was not grown with bone meal.
So I started making charcoal because you needed charcoal to make steel in the blast furnace. The thing with the blast furnace is it takes a really long time to smelt stuff and it needs 4 charcoal per iron. And then you get 1 steel ingot. Gathered seeds again, figured out how to make a diamond chest plate out of an iron one, fed the chickens, and made a diamond helmet from scratch to complete my set. I wasn't gonna make diamond boots because the slime boots are just very good for traveling and not dying. Plus they're pretty fun too. Then I made cheese molds for whatever reason. Then you can put water in them to make salt, even though there's probably no salt in this water. Then I fed the chickens. Day 32, this man really said day 32 2 days in a row. There was salt in the cheese molds, which I collected. Then I fed the chickens. After that, I tried cooking the unborn children and it made omelets. This was going to be a really good food source, especially since it gave 2.5 hunger and 2.5 saturation. That's really good since we're going from like starving all the time to this. Since we had steel now, we could make a machine frame, which was the one item that would keep us from making tons of machines to progress. Anyways, I used the first one to make a metallurgic infuser, and I was about to make one of the alloys we needed, but then I realized that the metallurgic infuser needed redstone, and then I realized that it needed power. So now I'm looking through all these crafting recipes for generators.
The basic RF generator, of course it's this balls to make.
Day 34, I got 2 achievements from taming a cockatrice from an egg. Weird thing is, I don't really know where that cockatrice is. I decorated our base, then I cured Alec of his hunger. Alec told me that he put his armor in cosmetic mode instead of taking it off to save durability so he could still look cool while dying. I mean being cured. I was about to start mining because I yearned for the mines, but I had mining fatigue. I had no idea why I had this. I thought it was some weird voodoo magic mob structure, who knows, enigmatica 2 sort of thing. I came up with a simple solution of getting a cow to have milk, so whenever we got horrible status effects, we just drink the milk. Little did I know how difficult this was going to be. When I tried to lure them with wheat, they would barely do anything. I don't even know if they were doing anything. So I decided to dual wield wheat and seeds, but it did not make the cows follow me.
gosh.
I faintly remembered cow
Wait,
bait,
are we
so I
supposed to be
made
making
some, but
basic
they still
controller
didn't follow
circuit?
me.
Can you
Alex
place it on the
suggested
ground?
I placed the cow bait, and it actually did place. Gave me a red message
there's
saying
no
no
water.
water. So with all my brain power, I placed the cow bait
put it
inside
in
of the
water?
water, getting rid of it. Took my anger out on some of the cows, but then I looked back at the cow bait and it said I was too close. My cockatrice died, then I got a nice vantage point of the cow bait. Finally, I decided to research cow bait, and basically it said that once you meet all the requirements of cow bait, then a vanilla baby cow will spawn. So I went back to base and set up a little cow pen thing, and after waiting to the night of day 35, there were finally cows.
There's a cow. There's 2 cows.
So I went and made a bucket out of iron plates and drank some milk, but it didn't make my mining
My
fatigue go
mining
away.
fatigue is what? It's still here. I still have mining fatigue. I just drank milk.
So I went and did some research on why I had mining fatigue, and apparently it was because one of my nutrition values was too low. I went back into the game and found the nutrition button and saw how unhealthy I was. This is what my diet of 99% eggs was doing to me. I saw that one of the categories was dairy, so I just sat and drank milk for a straight minute until it reached 100%. It is now day 36. Alex spawned a cockatrice, which was really fast, which was surprising because you'd think something slow would come from a rotten egg, but these were more like super mutant ninja chickens. Then I mined a little bit and was extracting iron from the smeltery to make hoppers, but then I saw this wooden hopper, which
Wait, I
was
could've
way
made a
cheaper.
wooden
The
hopper
only
this whole
downside
time.
is that it only had 1 inventory slot instead of 5. But I decided not to use them because it was easier to make normal hoppers than to make chests for the wooden hoppers to store stuff. I got some fruit. I got 2 rotten eggs and managed to get a cockatrice out of it. And then I started to become so malnourished that I got nausea. Quickly eating some berries helped that. Then I started to show other symptoms like poison. Turns out I haven't been eating my greens.
How am I supposed to get vegetables in these conditions, bro?
I didn't have any veggies nearby, so I just killed myself. On day 37, Alec aggroed my cockatrice.
Oh, they're just teleporting.
Oh my god. What the heck? What the heck? He's hitting me.
You're
Lance,
getting-
I have to kill him.
You're getting owned.
I have to kill him.
No, you're getting owned. You have 100 health. What are you talking about? He's gonna kill you.
Look at this. Yeah, get him! Get him!
No! No! No freaking way!
Good boy.
After seeing this display of skill, I studied how to get cockatrices as fast as possible, but it looked like the best way was just to get them from rotten eggs like we were already doing, as you couldn't breed them, and I didn't feel like looking for them in the wild. Alec had actually been doing work. He got all 3 of the alloys for Osclo glass, and we finally completed the quest after like 10 days, which gave us 8 atomic alloy. Alec needed coal for whatever reason, so I gave him that, and then he gave me an Osclo glass pickaxe, which had a lot of durability, which is good because I didn't like having to repair my pickaxe all the time. Then one of our good friends was a little concerned for us. I finally managed to get a carrot from a zombie, so he wouldn't be malnourished anymore. On day 38, I planted some carrots. Then I accidentally hit Alex cockatrice and it started shooting me with a black
gosh, I
laser.
cockatrice.
So I walked up the stairs of the smeltery to try and figure out what to do. I decided to keep on running away, but
No,
then the cockatrice
no.
fell in the smeltery, and Alex slowly watched it burn to death instead of breaking the smeltery to get him out. I set up a new chicken farm with a collection system for eggs. Then while migrating the chickens over, I lost a couple, and it was pretty hard to seal off the farm in a 2x2 area, but eventually I got it done and even gave them a glass ceiling. The next quest was Enderium. Then another cockatrice was slain. Day 39, I looked through crafting recipes for Enderium. Then I went into the mines to get some of the materials we needed. After that, my game crashed. I spent the rest of day 39 and day 40 trying to figure out how to fix this exit code 1 thing, but I just ran into a Hypixel forum that I did not know how to decipher. Any solution I did find, I was too lazy to do. I got back in on day 41, but it was super laggy. So I tried rejoining, but that didn't work. Then my game crashed again, but this time I got a different exit code. I joined again on day 42, where I collected the loot from the chicken farm. Then Alex showed off his boomerang, which could break blocks from a distance and retrieve them. On day 43, I started making some machines, and when I was doing that, Alec taught me that there was this little plus button you could click to move the items
Thank you
if you
for
had
that
them in your
information.
inventory to craft the crafting recipe. When you're looking at the crafting recipe in
Hot
JEI.
snipe.
Then something really weird went wrong with Bandicam. I tabbed out and tabbed back in and my game was frozen. So this happened with 2 of my recordings and I wasn't in the mood to edit 2 frames for a whole hour since it was much harder to understand. So the next few days are cut down a lot. To cope with this devastating loss, I'll put in some detailed illustrations to represent what is going on. I did a simple quest which I think was making a scanner, which gave us a loot crate, and I got a BLT from mine and Alec got a inventory upgrade, which basically gives you a chest more of inventory space. Feeling scammed by this, I researched some backpacks, but I was just like, I don't feel like it. Found a compressed skeleton. Into day 44. I saw an oak tree that grew on top of a birch tree. My Oslo glass pickaxe broke, so I had to use $1 million Oslo glass ingots to repair it. And then my game crashed again with exit code -1. Into day 45, I did some more research, but I still couldn't figure out what was going on with my game. It is now day 46. I spawned a bunch of cockatrices. I placed down a ton of cow baits, but it gave me an error message saying that there's way too many baits in this area and that it was suspicious. I got a compressed cow and uncompressed it. One of my cockatrices would kill and everything. On day 47, I got my cockatrice to kill a compressed spider, but it didn't drop any spiders. Mine aluminum for a machine block. Then for some reason, one of my cockatrices was really loyal and actually followed me instead of running around and killing everything. I collected some clay. On day 48, we came to the conclusion that it was day 45. But I'm gonna use past me's day instead of present me's day, so that this video still ends at the end of day 100. Automation is key. Automation is key, Alec. We need to automate. What have we automated? Food? We haven't even automated food. Yeah, we haven't automated anything. Day 47. You just said it was day 45. I mined coal, tended to the fields and the cows. Then I threw 2 rotten eggs and got 2 cockatrices.
Whoa, no way.
I put the cockatrices into follow mode, because that's why a cockatrice earlier was so loyal. You actually have to click on them to set their mode. Then Alex showed me how the Enderium worked. It starts off with melting an ender pearl, and then it goes into the seared window which you pick up and connect to the smeltery. And then the liquid ender pearl will go into the smeltery and you can cast it. We completed the Enderium quest and both chose ender pearls as our prize to go to the end. I repaired my Oslo glass pickaxe. I harvested our essence and expanded the farm a little. Then I saw this interesting cooking for blockheads quest, which was basically just a bunch of weird crafting recipes for kitchen appliances, such as using a book to craft an appliance and smelting a book to upgrade it. On day 48, while I was completing this quest, I discovered the chisel and got a little distracted. I put a bee nest in our house. Then on day 49, I finished crafting all the kitchen appliances for the quest.
Now I can rest. Wait, the fridges and the kitchen counters are literally just chests. Cool.
The prize for the quest was a loot crate, and I got a soul bead from it. I tried to figure out what it was used for, but I couldn't find anything useful. Alec needed vis crystals for mana steel, I think, but then as we were mining for them, I had a faint memory of crystals that could be vis crystals somewhere. So I immediately traveled along the river over there. Alec had his doubts, but in this cave, I found what I suspected to be vis crystals. Turns out they were vis crystals, but the weird thing is that the concentration of vis crystals at this level on the graph is said to be like basically 0. Then I picked a bone with a compressed spider and found some more vis crystals. I threw some eggs in the air. Then Alec found air vis crystal, which I guess was a specific one he needed for something. And strangely enough, you can place gunpowder down like redstone. Probably acts like a fuse or something, but I don't know. Then I started researching our next quest, which was Terra Steel. Now getting Terra Steel in Sky Factory 3 took us literally a day of breeding chickens, but this was obviously different. But after looking through the recipes for long enough, I figured out that you needed mana steel first. So I looked at how to get mana steel. And we need the stuff from the Botania mod, which is probably my least favorite mod. This prompted me to go on an adventure to collect specific white flowers to craft the stuff for that mod. Into day 50. I saw this mutant dandelion.
Wait, you're telling me these are canola seeds? Is this like a visual glitch or something?
Then I found a compressed cow. I also found some more vis crystals and gathered them even though we didn't need them anymore. But they make a really nice sound. I found a shipwreck and destroyed it for valuables but didn't find any. This is what the white flowers look like if you were wondering. And as I was going back to base, I collected some other Botania flowers because I thought I'd need them. Finally, I arrived back at our base during nighttime. We needed this thing called a rock crystal to craft a mana pool, and I did not know how to get it. But it turned out it was just an ore, and I'd actually seen it before in the mine, which I yearned for.
Oh, it's all glowy and stuff.
We needed to make a pure daisy, and this was crafted using 4 white petals in the petal apothecary. Into day 51, I found this message. The luminous crafting table has to be crafted near a floating crystal, commonly found in marble structures throughout the world. See the astral tome for the recipe. I looked at the concentration, and it was basically non-existent. I made the spectral tome and took a look inside, and it looked super weird, but it did have information on how to get the rock. Basically, there were marble shrines that spawned throughout the world, and some of them might maybe have it or something. I did some more research, but I couldn't find the specific structure that had the glowing crystal. So I just assumed that every marble structure had a chance to have it, because all I could see in this picture is the inside of the structure. So I went to a marble fountain I knew about, mined it, found a chest, but no rock. Then I saw this island up in the sky and I built up to it, messed around with the zoom mod, and then when I got to the tower I found this weird book. I'm pretty sure it's complete gibberish, but I don't know, maybe this is profound. Then I mined another fountain. I did some more research on the shrine. Then I ran into this Hydra, which was really weird because I literally couldn't kill it. Like, I was drag clicking this and it was just 1 health away from dying, but it would never die. It's like the more damage I do, the more it heals. It was really weird. But it did grow a lot of heads. Eventually it poisoned me though, so I ran away. On day 52, I made a rookie mistake by shifting with slime boots while I was on half a heart from poison. The reason I shifted is because slime boots have the same property as slime blocks, where if you shift, it stops you from bouncing but makes you take fall damage. Hold up. Mangrove from Minecraft 1.19? Yo. Alec found a dragon den and we were gonna go take him on, so I got all my cockatrices ready. The dragon was pretty cool, not that hard to kill, but it had some good loot, which was used to make good armor. There was a bunch of chests under gold nugget piles that had some interesting loot. I made some dragon armor. Decided to go exploring after and found this marble arch, which enticed me because, you know, it was a different structure besides the fountains. But I could not find a rock or a chest. I found this shipwreck that was completely on land, and next to that shipwreck was a village which I looted. It had some food that could be used to make a balanced meal. I found a prospector which detects ores in a straight line, a wing charm which gives slow fall after falling 6 blocks, and an ender book which can save coordinates as teleportation points.
Yo!
I relayed to Alec that the crafting recipe wasn't even that bad, especially for enigmatica 2. Plus it's just beyond broken. There were also just some permanently lit furnaces. They also just had tons of materials. The village also had pistons as decoration, which are really hard to make in this mod. I also found a void charm which saves you from falling into the void. This village had so many useful items that I didn't even know were in the game and weren't even that hard to craft, like an automatic torch which torches dark areas automatically while in your inventory. The crafting recipe is literally just 4 coal blocks and 3 iron bars, and it lasts long enough to where it's literally cheaper to make this instead of torches. And as day 52 turned into day 53, I listened to some music.
Interesting. I will be taking this jukebox.
I finished looting the village, then went back to base to test out the ender book. On day 54, I placed down this small storage crate, which actually has over 2 double chests of storage. I tested out the prospector and it wasn't that useful, only detecting up to 32 blocks in a direction. We looked at how to make dragon steel armor because it was really good, but it proved to be super expensive. I was figuring out what backpack I wanted to make because there's multiple backpack mods and my inventory got quite full while exploring. On day 55, I found out how absurd the crafting recipes for crates are. For the basic machine casing quest, I chose 64 rubber as my prize. The Airvis crystal quest gave me 16 paper and 4 velvet cakes. The aquamarine quest gave me 16 aquamarine and 64 marble. Sadly, I haven't made a brick of coke yet, so I couldn't claim any of these. Then I got to work on making a backpack, but I ran out of wood because my backpacks are made out of wood for some reason, so I had to get more. Then I finished it up and made a diamond backpack. Alec called me over, so I went to go investigate.
Why do we have to go into this location? Are you gonna kill me? Is this a bomb?
No.
Were you trying to
I was
blow
gonna
me
give the
up?
bomb to you. Yeah. What
It
the
was
heck?
a bomb?
It said it exploded in 10 seconds. It gave me 1 second.
Bro, I know you don't really enchant in this game, but I did have 30 levels.
I don't know why I said I had 30
Do we
levels,
have-
I literally
okay,
had
machine.
16. Day 56 looks like I have to correct some more voiceovers because I decided day 55 didn't exist. For whatever
Oh.
reason, another one of my cockatrices was trying to murder Alec. So I tried to sit
he's
it down,
sitting.
but it would still attack him,
Wait.
even though it was sitting.
How is he sitting and moving around like this? Are you seeing this?
Then I made another diamond backpack. And while I was at
Oh,
a
what the heck
dragon's
is
den,
this?
there was this weird Stimphilian
Dude,
bird
this bird is
attacking me.
shooting-
I got a weird achievement and it dropped some feathers, which it was supposedly throwing at me. Then I found some uranium 238. Then I used 3 manuscripts that I got from the den to craft a book, which I read for 1 minute. Finally, I got Californium 252. On day 56, I watched a video that showed me exactly where the floating crystal was, which was under this specific marble structure. I killed and tried some crab. Then I ran into another useless structure. There are a lot of these in this mod. This one had the chest with absolutely nothing in it. Like always, I destroyed the thing in hopes of finding some value. Then I tested out my new Stimphilian bird dagger on this frog and ate his legs as my lunch. Those frog legs weren't making me feel too good and I ended up with nausea 4. Then I found this weird jungle leaf and wood block. Inside was something called a nature core, which I don't know the use for. Nearby I found a nature chest, which was apparently super rare.
Wow, that's trash. I'll take the chest though.
I ran into some fairies and destroyed a home, but also killed one. After killing one of the harmless fairies, I got pixie dust, which can make a seemingly useless soup. I looked at my quest again and saw I had the network cable quest complete, but I didn't choose any prize yet. Then I found another ogre, and remembering how easy it was to kill, I wasn't very scared, but then this happened.
Oh crap, oh my gosh, what the heck, dude?
After that, I backed off and found this weird spiral thing into the ground. There's a weird maze thing with spawners, chests, and a lot of obstructions. I also vein mined the structure a little to get around. While I was trying to break some of the spawners, skeleton hit me off a pillar I was standing on into a cobweb right on top of all the mobs under me. So I went back to base and gathered all the materials for a slime sling and boots and used them to get back while gathering materials on the way. I got back to my death point on day 57. I surgically removed 2 spawners and then whittled down all the zombies safely. Eventually I ran into the problem of this compressed baby zombie that I couldn't reach. I wasn't trying to kill this thing and spawn 10 million zombies, and I couldn't even kill it easily, so I just trapped it in a box.
Yeah, get in there.
I dropped down to collect my stuff, but my inventory did not have near enough space. And while I was sorting through my items, a baby zombie came up behind me and pushed me into a cobweb. But as I was doing that, a bunch of other zombies started to come out, and I blocked in. After I cleared up some inventory space, I mined around the compressed baby zombies safely, went out to grab some stuff and blocked back in. Then I took care of the other zombies. Finally, I escaped. I found another village, and while looting it, I found climbing gloves, which allow you to climb on walls. It was cool at first, but it quickly became annoying. It had a really easy crafting recipe though. I traveled for a while, but eventually I came across another village. While looting this one, I found an inventory upgrade, which Alec got from a loot chest earlier. And it makes this weird sound when you use it.
I finished searching the village, then ran into this portal. Lesser Crimson Portal?
It spawned a bunch of medieval guys and I killed them all. Then I found this dragon's den, which I thought I could avoid fighting the dragon and just open a chest, but that awoke the dragon. So I started to fight him, but I realized I didn't have any glass bottles to collect the dragon's blood to make dragon steel armor. So into day 58, I got some glass bottles. Got back to killing the dragon. Then I got super close to landing in lava. Then I killed the dragon and tried to collect dragon's blood, but I was just getting water every time. I started drinking the water to get the bottles back, and out of nowhere I just got dragon's blood. I turned on hitboxes and it looked like the game wanted me to click in the sky to collect dragon's blood, with one of the hitboxes being right in front of me. After that, I took his bones and looted his house. After that, I found an air charm and a tower which allows you to walk on air. Not super useful, but cool. Then off in the distance, I spotted another dragon. So I went over there and did an any percent speedrun.
I was spam clicking because if you can click fast enough, it actually does more damage than waiting for your sword to recharge.
Using this high-tech method, I killed the dragon in 20 seconds. And of course collected its blood.
On day 59, I found this weird oil-looking substance that gave me haste.
Found another village which had 2 the enders, which basically act like aspects of the end from Hypixel Skyblock. An antidote charm which keeps you from getting poison and wither. Some weird looking gears, some s'mores. A wing charm that gives you slow falling after falling 6 blocks. And a spawner seeker. The ender had powers, so I couldn't use it forever, but it was very nice. Then I ate a s'more to go super fast. Then I found a dead dragon. After that, I found a cool bird called a hippogriff and I researched how to tame him, but I wasn't trying to drop 3 to 7 rabbit feet near it, so I killed it. After that, I saw compressed Jack Joe on my map and I had to kill it. I saw a hamster and I just couldn't let it live. Then I found a marshmallow with the description many civilizations would not have fallen with these on their side. And another village with an ender sack, which was a portable ender chest. I came across a graveyard with a weird book.
Who wrote all these books, man?
Then, as I was teleporting around with the ender, I saw a structure that looked like it, but it kind of seemed deformed for some reason. When I got closer to it, I realized it was the structure with the floating crystal. But then I got even closer and realized that the mountainous generation cut off the floating crystal.
You're kidding me. You're kidding me.
Meaning I was going to have to find another one of these structures. I would also like to take this moment to mention that when I made a test world, not even within 100 blocks, there was one of these structures. After I saw this super ominous black structure that I couldn't break into, then as I was mining this diorite lump for whatever reason, I accidentally broke one of these flowers and it turned out they dropped glowstone. So I gathered some of them and marked the spot in my ender book. Because to remind you, we don't like to go into the nether because of the chance of lagging out. Soon after, on day 60, I found another one of the structures, this one actually having the floating crystal. I made the luminous crafting table, teleported back home and spawned a bunch of cockatrices. Then I placed down the crafting table to craft craft the petal apothecary, but it didn't seem to do anything. So I went back to try it under the floating crystal, but that didn't work either. Then I did some research and found this resonating wand which I made. During this, I checked out the crafting recipe for the everlasting guilty pool. Then it was raining during nighttime and this bar started to fill up, making the petal apothecary appear in the crafting table. I was thinking if it filled all the way up, it would just craft it, but then I tried right-clicking it with the resonating wand and it made this weird glowing thing, and eventually it crafted. So I guess after I have a certain amount of that bar filled up, I can right-click it and it'll craft the thing. I also got a flower pouch which can store all the Botania flowers in one inventory slot. I made a pure daisy in the petal apothecary. Then Alex surrounded it with arcane stone. And just as fast as it was placed down, it turned into living rock. On day 61, I collected Botania flowers. Then Alec told me to right-click this Salus Mundus powder on this bookshelf, but it didn't do anything. I later found out that you were supposed to sleep and then try it. Anyways, I crafted a light well. On day 62, I tried to use the light well by tossing aquamarine in there, but that didn't work. So I teleported to the crystal and tried doing it there, but that didn't work. Eventually, I figured out you were supposed to right-click it. Then I made this little checkerboard pattern, which will be used for later. Then I searched up the recipe for the last block I needed to put onto this checkerboard. I gathered the liquid starlight.
Liquid starlight bucket. Oh.
Made some living wood by placing infused wood around the pure daisy. On day 63, I ran into the most iconic mob in the game.
Oh, gunpowder!
This is probably the worst thing that could have got blown up. I decided to take this opportunity to look at our storage area from a creative viewpoint. I saw that the chickens desperately wanted freedom. Some people might say they just wanted to get out into the open world, but clearly, as you can see from this image, they yearn for the mines. Anyways, I tried to fill up this corner, but the pressure of chickens was so much that it pushed me out. I started filling up this small crate with the crafting recipes for runes, but I didn't have any mushrooms, so Alec guided me to a dark forest, which seemed to look a little familiar. Anyways, I gathered red and white mushrooms and headed back. On day 64, I found the structure that Alec found when we found the same structure at the same time on day 3. Then another cockatrice got aggressive for whatever reason, and it got killed.
No!
Then Alec supposedly got a wither bone from a cockatrice and wanted to kill them all.
That's actually really good. We need to kill more cockatrices. They get witherbone.
But I stopped him from doing this by saying it was probably rare.
I think that's rare.
Just kidding. He killed them all anyway. I made some sparks, which we'll use later. I think this might be the first time I've slept in this world.
I didn't know it did that.
On day 65, after I slept, I had a book in my inventory called Strange Dreams. And when I right-clicked the Salus Mundus power on the bookshelf, I thought that gave me the book, but sleeping did. The book is basically a unique tutorial for Botania. I harvested the Imperium farm and planted some more seeds. Now it's day 66. But it's actually day 68 because we said it would be day 69 tomorrow, even though it's actually day 100 on the server.
Day 101 is day 69.
I looked at Alec's watermill. Alec gave me this thing called a thermometer. It said inventory scanning available, so I tried using it on Alec, but it didn't seem to do anything. It made a cool sound though, and I accidentally placed it down. Then Alec gave me an arcane workbench, which was another quest. Then I found out that the first Botania quest is a checkbox task. The prize was a book and 16 floral fertilizer, which is basically bone meal, but instead of grass and vanilla flowers, it spawned Botania flowers. After doing the checkbox quests, I could collect all the other quests, which are all loot boxes except for the Petal Apocryphy, which was experience, and I decided to save that since I didn't need experience at the time. And when I left the quest menu, all the quests just started saying quest complete, as I used the floral fertilizer to decorate our base.
All these loot chests. It's gonna be like an unboxing. I'm an unboxing channel now.
Then I opened up all my loot chests. I got a silky jewel, which adds silk touch to tools. Then I took a quick look at the bragging rights questline, but I wanted to open the rest of my chests.
Back to my unboxing channel. About to unbox some good stuff. What did I get here? A farmer? Ooh, it's a rare item. It's a rare item. Legend has it you can get your monies back by getting a gold bar, because these cost $10 billion each. Crafter tier 3. Oh, nice. Oh, I'm getting lots of rares. Signal conversion kit. No idea what that would do. Pink cherry sapling. Wow. Okay, we're going back to my roots. Really going back to my roots. Yo, 16 green balloons. Oh. Wait, they're going away. No.
I got a balloon stuck in the mines, and then I figured out that you could attach them to the ground. For some reason, I was just using the slime sling inside of this marble structure for a bit, but I couldn't help but notice why Alec was randomly shifting around.
What are you doing, bro? What are you doing? You're literally just shifting around.
He gave me the thermometer, and apparently what he was doing was right-clicking everything to study it, but also shifting so he wouldn't open chests and furnaces, stuff like that. I don't really know what the point of this is, but I did it for a while. Day 69 started off with Alec doing some witchcraft. Then I made some yellow powder for mana spreaders, which were supposed to put mana in the mana pool, but didn't seem to do anything. I communicated with my sources, and they said I needed flowers around it, so we moved the mana spreader and put flowers around it. It still wasn't working, so I communicated further with my sources, and they said that we needed certain types of flowers, and that a decent beginner one to make was the Indoflame flower. Placed it down, and then since I could, I made a bunch more, but it still wasn't working, so I talked to my sources again, and they said I had to connect the flowers to the spreaders and give them something to burn. So I connected them, and Alec threw some wood on top of them, and finally we had mana. Now that we had mana, I could start throwing stuff into it to get mana versions of those items, which I needed to make the runes. So I made some mana pearls and some mana redstone. Day 70, I was trying to craft the runic altar now that I had access to a mana pearl, but the blue bar was getting in my way again. I finished laying out the crafting recipes for each rune. Since the blue bar always seemed to fill up while it was raining, I decided to put water next to it, but that showed no effect, so I put water on top of it, which did show an effect of turning all my starlight into ice for whatever reason.
How was I supposed to know that was gonna happen?
Then I decided I wanted to take a crack at filling up the corner of the chicken farm again, so I killed a bunch of baby chickens that were spawned in recently, because they were in the way trying to get to their brethren. After that, I was confused why I couldn't fill up the corner because it looked like there was nothing there. So I conducted an experiment by breaking out another corner of the wall and trying to place blocks there, which worked. This was interesting because it further proved my theory that the chickens yearn for the mine since they only wanted to go in the direction of the mine. Eventually, I diagnosed the problem as the smallest hitbox in the world. I tried to hit it out of the way, but I couldn't. 1 micropixel of a chicken was keeping me from achieving my dreams. Thus, I gave up again and went to try and go craft the runic altar. I don't think I thought about this, but I think the blue bar of the luminous crafting table fills up during nighttime. But anyways, there was enough to craft the runic altar, so I did that. So I put down the crafting recipe for the first rune, but it didn't seem to do anything. The solution was to move the runic altar over to the mana spreaders, give the Endoflame some wood so that the mana spreaders had mana, and then point the mana spreaders at the runic altar to give that mana. Then there was some lightning, but it still didn't craft. I tried to throw a wand and some living rock at it, but it didn't seem to work. What did work was dropping the wand directly on it and then right-clicking living stone. On day 71, I finally obtained air runes. So I went back to my creative crafting recipes, took them, and then crafted all the runes. Then finally, I crafted the thing I was too lazy to remember the name for so I could talk about it in the past clips. The terrestrial agglomeration plate. I completed my structure but moved it over because I needed it to be next to the mana pool. And I wasn't going to move the mana pool because it had mana in it. Using the sparks from earlier, I placed one on the terrestrial agglomeration plate and one on the mana pool. Then I think we were trying to make mana diamonds, but of course it didn't work. We tried making our first piece of terra steel, but it turns out we didn't have nearly enough mana. So I decided to improve our wall. On day 72, I dropped my slime sling while going over to Alec to investigate something. I found a chest under a great wood tree, which apparently had a spawner on it, and inside the chest was some useful stuff, like mana steel. I broke another one, but there was no chest or spawner under it. I fell into a ravine, and while I was getting out, I found a diamond at Y50. And then I vein mined some coal and found another one. Then I threw a rotten egg and got 4 cockatrices from it. Pretty sure this is like a 1 out of 256 chance.
What?
One
Wait,
egg
put him in the
spawned.
cage. Put him in the cage.
No, they're free roam.
I found this cool mini slime block. Then I decided to research flowers that could produce more mana, since our Endoflame would take us ages and tons of materials to get enough. I stumbled upon this flower called the Gourmet Lis. Basically, you could throw food into it and that would make mana. The mana generated is the amount of hunger points the food gives squared times 70 divided by how many times you've given the plant the same food in a row. I quickly searched up how much mana it would take to make 1 mana steel, and it's 500,000. I checked most if not all the other flowers, and their crafting recipes seem to be really complicated and take a while. This one seemed to be bearable and I chose it as our method. Here's me just looking at all the flowers. They required a bunch of like different runes that all had their annoying crafting recipes. Some runes taking multiple runes to make that rune. Not to mention other items as well. Usually random annoying to get items. On day 73 I consulted the calculator to see how much cake I would need, and it turned out to be 80 cakes. But no, we decided to go the 447 steaks method. Now I think doing cakes would have been faster. But anyways, on day 74, I started making a pig farm because pork gives 8 hunger points and Steak gives 8 hunger points, but chickens don't. So in order to alternate, because if you give the plant the same food, it lowers the efficiency. After finishing that, I put down some pig baits, which are just 3 carrots, I think. When they showed up, they didn't seem to want to follow my bait, but eventually I got a few of them in. After that, to prepare for the population explosion, I got a bunch of bone meal to make a bunch of carrots. And a nice little quality of life feature in this mod is that you can right click grown crops to take the plants and plant the seeds. This meant that I could just spam right click with bone meal, and with bolt clicking I can get around 50 to 100 clicks per second. So using that method on these crops, bulk clicking was finally useful. When I finished, I amassed about half an inventory of carrots. I basically spent the entirety of day 75 going back and forth breeding pigs, chickens, and cows. Once I was done breeding the chickens, I bred the cows, and once I was done breeding the cows, I bred the pigs. And when I was done breeding the pigs, it had been 5 minutes, which means I could go breed the chickens again. At the very end, I farmed some wheat though. Day 76, I installed some feeders because I thought this would make the breeding automatic, but I couldn't get them to work. Day 77, I fed the pigs, and Alec had actually made one of the food flowers, so I started alternating baguettes and cooked chicken into it. As it turned nighttime, I ended up with this much mana. I fed the animals again into day 78, and Alec was trying to make more of the gourmet lilies plants. Then I went into the mines for whatever reason. No, because I yearned for the mines. After that, the night had come to thin out their numbers, which I did into day 79. I started cooking all our food and made 3 more mana spreaders. I wanted to make some more, so I set out on a mission to find some more lime green botania flowers. Found a cluster of about 9, which since each plant made 2 petals and each mana spreader needed 1 block, that was 2 mana spreaders. When I got back on day 80, we had plenty to make a terrasteel ingot. And we made our first terrasteel ingot.
Yo.
Then I looked at the crafting recipes for Supremium, the next quest, which was amazing in Sky Factory 3. I gathered food and decided to give Alec all my steak so we could alternate between steak and pork for efficiency, but I accidentally threw 2 stacks of steak right into one of the flowers, which according to the formula of how much mana is produced, was such a waste of food. Anyways, we went around alternating for a while, made our second mana steel ingot, put them both into the smeltery, and completed the quest. The prize was 4 infusion crystals, which was foreshadowing Supremium, because to make Supremium you need to compact Inferium into Supremium with infusion crystals. Another thing to note is that the infusion crystals had durability, but me and Alec had a plan to completely negate this process. I decided to calculate how much Inferium it takes to make 1 Insanium, but my calculation was off by a whole power. It's actually 1024 or 16 stacks. Alec was making another terrasteel ingot for whatever reason, and while I was zooming in, I accidentally picked it up because I didn't know how close I was, which wasted a ton of mana. But since we were pretty good at getting mana, it wasn't too hard to set it up again, and on day 81 we made another terrasteel ingot. I went around killing some spiders in the night so I could get string, but then I found another method, which was squeezing wool in the squeezer to basically revert the crafting recipe. So I took a few pieces of wool and did that. Day 82 I learned that you could get string from hemp. Basically we were getting hemp rope from the hemp and then turning that into string. What a useful plant. We set up a system where I was bone mealing and he was breaking for maximum efficiency. Turns out Alec had discovered an alternative to bone meal that was cheaper. Basically there was this stuff called apatite, which wasn't too hard to get, and each stack of apatite turned into 8 stacks of fertilizer, which was just reskinned bone meal. The reason behind our madness of bone mealing hemp for string was to make sieves, which is how you start out in Sky Factory 3. Anyways, I was looking through these crafting recipes and made a hammer so I could turn netherrack into crushed netherrack. And with crushed netherrack, I can compact it and then sieve it with a heavy sieve. And I was sieving compressed netherrack because it had a chance to get blaze powder. Here's me scrambling for any way to get netherrack without having to go in the nether and risk lagging out. In the end, it was clearly easier just to go into the nether. I didn't lag out and just started collecting a bunch of crushed netherrack. I compressed it all and looked at an auto sieving recipe. Day 83, I tried to put a chest of charcoal on top of the blast furnace so it automatically replenish it, but turns out that doesn't work. Then I got an auto sieve set up so I wouldn't have to sieve all that compressed netherrack I made, and it was already showing results. Then Alec found a fire charm, which gives you fire resistance anytime you start falling in lava or burning to death. Alec also recommended I make like a null backpack thingy, whatever. Basically, yeah, I had tons of storage and it was cheap, but I don't think I ever got around to doing it. Mostly because I didn't need the storage that badly because my diamond backpacks were still doing pretty good. I went into the nether and followed Alec's coordinates to another fortress, and on day 84 I arrived at the terrible fortress. We came here to get wither skeleton skulls because in Sky Factory 3, each wither dropped 2 Supremium essence. So by doing this method, instead of taking 8 years to make a farm to get Supremium, we could spend 2 years getting 15 wither skeleton skulls. skulls. Anyways, we farmed wither skeletons. I only got 1 and Alec got 5. Clearly a skill difference. Day 85, I traveled back into the overworld. I lied, I crashed. I got back on day 85. No, you didn't. You got back on day 86. Thought I was done with this, but I gotta correct some more voiceovers. I looked at how to make witherproof blocks so I could trap the wither and make it easy to kill. We decided not to make them though. I don't know why, but I started feeding the food flowers for mana again. Then me and Alec went into the mines. While I was crashed and messing around, Alec got 3 more wither skeleton skulls, totaling up to 9. Right before we were about to fight the wither, I got some malnourishment and started dying. I resurfaced on day 87 to sort that out. Then I went back and we summoned the wither. Then I withered away. We summoned and killed another one. I went back to the surface and made base ingots and then turned those into inferium ingots. Compacted inferium into brudentium and then turned the inferium ingots into brudentium ingots before harvesting and planting some more crops at the inferium farm. Then I went back into the mines with Alec to kill a 3rd wither. It was really nice. We only had to kill 3 withers because each withers dropped 4 supremium essence instead of 2 like Sky Factory 3. Meaning we didn't have to go back into the nether because 12 supremium was enough to make 2 supremium ingots. So I turned the prudentium ingots into intermedium, then superium, then supremium. I put it in a smelter, but it was taking a long time to smelt, so I just looked at all the supremium crafting recipes. Finally, we got the supremium sharpening kit, completing the supremium quest. And the prize was 1 loot chest. Day 88, I looked at the crafting recipe for the second to last quest, which was Awakened Draconium, which linked back to the Botania mod. After realizing that, I decided to just go to the stronghold. I found this spawner covered in vis crystals, then I killed a dragon, took some Curium 243 and got the Marie Curie achievement. I traveled the rest of the way, and into day 89 I started vein mining down to where I thought the stronghold was. Then I ran into this tree that was part of an underground forest. It had some weird generation, but I found the portal room fast. Yo. I made an ender chest and put another ender book in there. This is a pretty useless idea for a number of reasons. Past me realized this too though. Past the weird white blocks I went into this Twilight Dimension portal because apparently the Twilight Dimension had a small concentration of draconium. As I was mining down to the optimal Y level, I found this kobold. What are you?
4.
Oh my. Do you do damage? Are you friendly? Oh, you are not friendly. Silence of the Forest. Day 90, I did this weird thing with my auto torch. I started lagging out again. It nearly crashed, but I actually survived somehow. I actually had such little hope it wasn't gonna crash, so I went to go click on the close the program button. I was using the prospector, but it was still garbage. Then I looked and turns out the Twilight Forest has like the lowest concentration of draconium. Eventually I did end up finding a draconium ore, which gave me 6 draconium dust. After that I decided to head back home. Then my game froze while I was getting some water and it crashed. Then I got back into the game on day 91, but past me said it was day 95. I updated the Botania crafting table by just putting a crafting recipe in there and crafting that. But I had these 4 extra crafting spots on the corners now. This was the crafting recipe for the 3rd tier, which led me to this arcane crafting engine that was just insane. Day 96! I was looking at this crafting recipe for a machine blueprint for tier 3 of the Botania crafting table. I don't know if I even needed it though. Logging back on day 98, I got tip 30, which was that blocks of prosperity were craftable. I don't know why they put this here like we don't use JEI every second. Got a bunch of loot chests from Botania quests. Then I checked out the arcane engine again, but I ultimately decided not to do it. The chicken farm wasn't looted for a while, so I got a bunch of rotten eggs from it, which led to me spawning an army of cockatrices. There were some escape attempts though. That cockatrice is hacking, bro. But I managed to return the escapees to their home. I was looking through chests and I saw this rare drop called a cockatrice eye. And it could be used to make a cockatrice scepter, which was a legendary weapon where there's a target when used and can target multiple enemies. So I made it. Then since we were on the topic of the end, we looked at air charms to help us not fall and die. But it required 4 bat wings, which only spawned in vanilla structure chests. I tested out the cockatrice scepter, which used the cockatrice laser. Day 99, I made some dragon scale boots so I could put them on my cosmetic layer and look like I had full dragon armor. So I didn't have the protection of the dragon armor, but I had the functionality of the slime boots. Yeah. Oh, I look very weird actually. This thumbnail is gonna be legendary. Then Alec killed one of his own cockatrices in hope of getting another cockatrice eye.
Frick, didn't get it.
Then I fed the chickens so I could get XP to use the ender book to go to the end portal. Because that was the one drawback of the ender book. Basically, the farther away you're trying to teleport to, the more XP you would need. But an interesting thing is that my cockatrice actually teleported with me. With this knowledge, I should be able to bring my cockatrice army to defeat the ender dragon. Anyways, I explored the stronghold and got XP to teleport back home. Then I fed the chickens and released my cockatrice army. Then I fed the chickens. And when I teleported into the end, they all came with me. Then Alec made it to the stronghold. I went to go check when the cockatrices were gonna grow because I wanted them to be grown up for the end fight, and it turned out to be soon. When are they gonna grow up? Oh, this guy's about to grow up in 3 seconds. Yo, oh my gosh! Dude, a ton of them just grew up at the exact same time. I decided to trade Alec a higher durability air charm for a lower durability one because I had a void charm, which I'm pretty sure saves you if you fall into the void. Then Alec forgot about the power of the cockatrices and hit me, starting an absolute brawl. I tried to stop the cockatrices by sitting them down, but they were just too bloodthirsty and powerful. There were many casualties. And I guess one of my cockatrices stayed back at base and ended up fighting Alec. I mined some redstone for XP so I could use my ender book then. I teleported back to give Alec my ender book so he could teleport to the stronghold and then get his stuff, which also had an ender book, so he could teleport back and give me my ender book back so we could both teleport back to the stronghold. I found another void charm just lying around in our storage. Then I fed and spawned some chickens. And I didn't even realize this, but Alec went back and dropped a book right there, and I just happened to walk in a path that picked it up. So I just had the book magically in my inventory again. I didn't think about it, so I went into the mines one last time because I yearned for the mines, and not because Alec told me redstone was a decent way to get XP so I could teleport back to the end portal. Anyways, I teleported back to the end portal and it turned to day 100. So we entered the end to fight the ender dragon. From my army of cockatrices, one made it into the end. I flew around throwing snowballs at the end crystals. My best cockatrice was killed by the ender dragon using magic, and then the ender dragon swooped down for one last time. Yay! Surprisingly, the ender dragon dropped 10 draconium dust along with the dragon heart and the dragon egg. I saw this ender lily, and then we swiftly gathered the ender dragon egg using torches from the end portal. I found this crystallized obsidian that dropped celestial crystal shards, and they seemed pretty useless. Then we did some posing for the thumbnail, and I got injured. You're still freaking out. Oh, what the heck? Oh gosh!
Sorry, my bad.
And I forgot to pick up the ender dragon egg after I asked for it for the achievement, so it was just sitting on the floor. Wait, is that the dragon egg just sitting there? What the heck? What are we doing? A dragon egg just
I threw it on the
chilling there.
ground and then you never picked it up.
Then I entered the end gateway and quickly found the worst possible end city. Die. 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 I went further exploring and saw this weird rainbow ore. It was biome essence, which I thought was good for a biome locator, but I couldn't find any good use for it. But the ore was only attainable in the end, which makes sense because this is literally the end ore. Then I found another worst possible end city, and after killing the 2 shulkers at the bottom of the city, it turned to day 101, ending the server. I wanted to finish this video during winter break when I started it, but it took around 30 days of work, and I wasn't slacking. I don't know exactly how to get into Luke's monument, but I'm thinking maybe I'll just show up there. If this video even counts as a 100 days video. I think it'll be fine. Luke did do a 100 days AFK video, but I crashed, and that can't count, because it's not even Minecraft. So maybe it's only around 98 days, but I don't really know. It would take a lot of time to find out. Also, Alec was still online most of the time. I didn't realize how much work this would be, but I'm glad I did it, and I'm glad I did it before vacation, specifically the day before. I got to catch up on upwards of 40 hours of unedited videos from winter break to now. Thank you for watching, and subscribe. And I ran into this tree, which was part of an underground tree area. I don't know. Forest, bro.